Chris Colbert gets his first world title shot against the champion. He's known as the Kid, Roger Gutierrez, who will be making the second title defense, by the way, of his WBA super featherweight title. It will be the main event of a triple header of action that comes your way on Showtime Championship Boxing. It all jumps off at 7 p.m. Pacific time. That is 10 o'clock Eastern time. Tickets, they are available right now. You can purchase your tickets through Ticketmaster.com. And of course, the fights are brought to you by Premier Boxing Champions. You get the champion against the unbeaten contender. This will be one heck of a main event. The champion, Roger Gutierrez, 26, 3-1, 20 knockouts, though. Taking on Primetime, Chris Colbert, 16-0. 6 of those have come by knockout. We're going to talk with both of these fighters. You see them there. We're going to allow you, members of the media, to ask some questions as well. All you have to do is hit the raise my hand icon there on the Zoom. We'll get to those in a minute. But let's talk to these fighters. And let's start with Roger Gutierrez. Let's start with the champion, known as the Kid. Martin Bader will do the translation. And champ, Roger, what was your feelings when you got word that you're defending your title against the unbeaten Chris Colbert?
Bueno, campeón, contanos un poco de cómo te sentiste cuando te mencionaron que ibas a pelear contra Chris Colbert. ¿Cuáles fueron tus sensaciones?
Mira, muy contento porque sé que es uno de los peleadores top de la división y eso es una gran oportunidad para mí porque me puede posicionar entre los mejores 130 del mundo, así como lo soy, pero aún más. Entonces eso me llenó de mucha emoción de que la pelea sea mandatoria. Solo esperábamos la fecha, esperábamos el momento ese. Y bueno, aquí estamos, ya tenemos, como te dije, desde mediados de diciembre en Los Ángeles, trabajando muy fuerte, muy duro, porque sabemos que no es nada fácil, pero estamos trabajando duro para dar y hacer un gran espectáculo.
I was very excited and so happy that this fight was going to happen because regardless of the fact that it was mandatory and all I had to do was wait for the date to be confirmed, I knew that this fight was going to be a big opportunity for me to show how I am one of the best in the world, which I already am, but this is an opportunity for me to consolidate myself as one of the best in the world. This is a chance that I am not about to pass up. I've been training in Los Angeles since mid-December, and I am going to give my all on February 26th.
Fantastic. Well, Chris, listen, your thoughts. When you got word, you're getting your first world title shot, and you're going up against the champion, Gutierrez, who, by the way, known as a puncher.
First of all, I'd like to thank God. I'd like to thank Al Heyman, my team, Showtime, for giving me this opportunity, Robert Gutierrez and his team for giving me the opportunity. But my thoughts when they gave me the call is it's about time. It's prime time on Showtime. This is what we all been waiting for. This is what I've been waiting for my whole life. I'm 16-0, 6 knockouts, and I don't feel like there's no better time than right now. It's prime time. And I'm come February 26th, I'm gonna go out there and showcase my skills once again. I'm gonna show the world why they call me Primetime. Like I said before, you can't use that name unless you're something special. A lot of people want to be that guy until it's time to be that guy. I was born that guy. This is my time, and I'm gonna go out there and do what I do best, and that's dominate. Come February 26th.
Roger, champ. Obviously, you're fighting a much different fighter than Rene Alvarado and Chris Colbert. Faster, quicker. How different of a challenge will this be for you?
Bueno, mira, Chris Colbert es claramente un desafío completamente distinto al que tuviste contra René Alvarado. Él es más rápido y más veloz en todos los aspectos. ¿En qué sentido pensás que esto va a ser distinto para vos dentro del ring?
En todo. Sabemos que son estilos completamente diferentes entre Colbert y Alvarado. Tenemos que hacer otro plan de pelea totalmente diferente a lo que le hicimos en las 2 últimas peleas a René Alvarado. Estrategias totalmente diferentes. como te dije, todo va a cambiar arriba del ring. Van a ver un nuevo Roger Gutiérrez, no van a ver un Roger como lo vieron con Alvarado, porque van a ser diferentes estrategias, diferentes planes de trabajo.
It's going to be totally different. Anything that you saw from me against René Alvarado, you can toss out the window, because this is going to be a completely different fight. I'm going to have to adapt and employ a totally different strategy. You're going to see a different Roger Gutierrez, and I'm going to be better than ever. It's going to be absolutely something that you haven't seen from me against René Alvarado.
Chris, last time we saw you, you were fighting King Tug, late replacement. He came up in weight to face you. You had a battle. And I remember afterwards, that fight, you said, look, this guy was tough. He was strong. Now you're facing taller guy, taller champion, who's got some serious pop in his hands. How big of a challenge is this for you?
Oh, you talking to me? Oh,
absolutely.
Listen, everybody that y'all put in front of me that they say have power and I need to worry about their power got muffins. Let me emphasize on that. Everybody that y'all put in front of me that they say supposed to be big punches, they don't hit hard at all. I end up walking them down, beating them up, and I take them out of there. So come February 26th, I don't expect nothing different. I'm coming in there to win by any means necessary. When I say any means, I mean any means necessary. I don't care about looking pretty. I don't care about looking cute. Nothing. I'm coming in there to win, and to win by dominating fashion, and that's that.
And even though he has the size and he's known as a puncher, you believe if you have to, you could withstand a firefight with him.
He better make sure he bring the Mack truck, because I'm coming. I'm coming. You better make sure you have that Mack truck that have me on my bike for the whole fight. Because if he don't, he's in trouble.
Roger, listen, champ, this is going to be your second title defense. And looking at the Vegas odds, right now they have you the betting underdog to Colbert. Are you offended by that?
Bueno, mira, esta va a ser tu segunda defensa del título, pero en Las Vegas consideran que Colbert es el favorito en las apuestas. ¿Te ofende eso? ¿Sentís que te están subestimando?
No me importa nada, no me importa. Creo que las dos últimas con Alvarado también él fue el favorito. Siempre he ido en contra de eso, nunca he sido el favorito y no me importa nada. Más bien me anima, me gusta porque me gusta que la gente vea que soy un guerrero. Que él sea favorito no me importa absolutamente nada, de verdad.
I really don't care. I don't care what the betting odds say. I believe that Alvarado was the favorite before too. I don't care if anybody believes in me or not in the betting world. What I care about is that I'm a warrior. I believe in myself and I know what I can do inside the ring. That's the bottom line.
Colbert said that, listen, everybody that they've put in front of him who was supposed to be a big puncher doesn't punch as hard. Do you believe this is a fight where you not only going to get the victory, but do you think you can stop Chris Colbert?
Bueno, ¿crees que en esta pelea no solo podés ganar, sino que ganar antes de la campana final deteniendo o noqueando a Chris Colbert?
Mira, a pesar de que me considero y muchos me consideran un noqueador, no buscamos el knockout, trabajamos a 12 rounds, a ganar round a round y el knockout siempre va a salir solo.
Even though people consider me a knockout artist of sorts, I don't look for the knockout. I don't ever do. What me and my team do is we work towards winning every round, building up towards the 12 rounds that are needed to win. If we reach the final bell or not, it doesn't really matter, because what we do is we work towards what we want to do, which is win, and the knockout comes by itself.
Chris, the opposite side of that question, you surprised that Vegas has you as the betting favorite going into this fight?
No, I'm not surprised, but I wanted to be the underdog, so my whole hood could win. But listen, it is what it is. Favorite ain't about nothing. At the end of the day, it's two warriors got to go in there in the ring and fight. And he's a champion. I'm going to be the champion. He is the champion, current champion. I'm going to be the champion. And I expect nothing but a firefight from him. But like I said, he better bring a matchup because I'm coming. I promise I'm coming.
Well, let me wrap it up with this before we get to the media questions, Chris. What can you guarantee the people when they turn on Showtime on February 26th to see you fight? What can you guarantee they're going to get?
It's prime time on Showtime. February 26th, y'all better make sure they tune in. Y'all don't want to miss it. Robert Gutierrez, Chris Colbert, WBA title on the line. He got losses. I ain't got losses, and I don't plan on getting no losses. And I will. And y'all will hear. And the new WBA Super Featherweight Champion of the World. Prime time, baby. Guarantee that.
Roger, champ, same thing to you. When people tune in to Showtime on February 26th to see you defend your title against Chris Colbert, what can you guarantee them?
Cuando la gente sintonice Showtime el 26 de febrero para verte defender tu título contra Chris Colbert, ¿qué le puedes garantizar a esa afición que estará emocionada por verte pelear?
Un venezolano ganador, de nuevo, un venezolano ganador. No voy a dejarme quitar ese título, no me importa quién esté enfrente de mí. Estoy dispuesto a hacer lo que sea para retenerlo y llevarlo de nuevo a Venezuela.
I guarantee that you'll see a Venezuelan winner once again. I don't care who's in front of me or what people say about this fight. All that I care about is the fact that I'm going to win and I'm going to take that belt once again back to Venezuela to celebrate with my people.
The duplicate, he's going to take back to Venezuela.
Dice que vas a llevarte la dúplica. Dice que lo único que te vas a llevar es la dúplica, no el cinturón de verdad.
After I take him out for cerveza, I'll take you for cerveza after I win. I got you on me.
¿Qué dice?
Dice que te va a ganar y después te va a invitar a una cerveza, pero que él se va a llevar el cinturón. ¿Qué le respondes?
Que su mejor arma es hablar. Su mejor arma es hablar y ser un bocón. Nos vemos el 26 de febrero.
Chris, you're a loudmouth and your best weapon is to talk. I'll see you on February 26th.
Oh, I love it.
I see you there, baby.
I absolutely love it, folks. This is going to be the main event of a phenomenal triple header of fights that comes your way on February 26th. This is the main event. You got Gary Antoine Russell taking on Victor Postal, taking a huge step up there. So this card is so stacked with great matchups. I know you guys have a number of questions. Let's get right to the media questions. Let's bring in Chris de Blasio, of course, our Vice President of Communications for Showtime Sports. Chris, members of the media have got questions. Let's bring them in.
Thanks, Brian. Chris and Roger, we love the determination, the confidence, and also the sportsmanship. The beer afterwards is going to be a fun. We may have to film that as well. Let's start with Keith Idec. And just to repeat the typical rules, if anyone is new to the press webinar here, use the raise hand function if you want to ask a question, and please wait on me to call on you before you can unmute. As I mentioned, we have a couple in queue already. Please feel free to jump in. We'll try to get to everyone. Keith Idec, Boxing Scene. You should be able to unmute and go ahead.
Yeah, thanks, Chris. My first question is for Roger. I'm just curious. He just called Chris a loudmouth. Is Chris, talks a lot, obviously, sells the fight and everything. Is he annoying him? Can you ask him, Martin?
Of course, yeah. Keith Idec de Boxing Scene pregunta que ¿por qué lo llamás bocón a Chris Colbert? ¿Te molesta que él hable así cuando promociona la pelea?
No. Simplemente que así lo llamamos en Venezuela, a esos peleadores que arman su show de esa manera. Lo mío es diferente, es hablar sobre el ring, y lo de él es hablar debajo del ring. Pero bueno, eso lo ha ayudado en su marketing, y lo respeto.
Look, I respect him, and it doesn't bother me what he says outside the ring. I understand that that's his show. That's the way he builds up his brand, and that's what he has to do. But that's what we call them in Venezuela when, all they do is talk outside the ring. They're just loudmouths. That's all.
I have one more question for Roger before I ask Chris a question. Martin, can you ask him what he thinks of Chris's skill set? Because he's obviously a very talented, skillful fighter who has fought in a variety of ways over the last couple of years, particularly against Arboleda. So what do you think about him as a boxer and maybe more of a puncher than people credit him for being?
¿Qué opinas de la versatilidad de Chris? Que quizás es más, tiene más fuerza de lo que la gente cree y que su versatilidad es algo que quizás te puede complicar, pero ¿vos qué opinas?
No, opino que es un gran peleador, un gran boxeador, muy rápido, estilista. Me gustan los restos grandes, es lo que puedo decir. Me gusta la pelea, me emociona y solo esperando el 26 de febrero.
I think that Chris is a great fighter, that he has style, and that he's very versatile. So that's why I'm so excited about having this big fight coming up, because I'm always up for the big challenges, and you're going to see me step up to that challenge on February 26th.
Thanks, Martin. Thank you, Roger. Chris, I just got a couple of questions for you, if you could. When you look at Roger and you fought some high level guys over the last couple of years, how does he compare? You know, maybe to Tug and Arboleda, Jezreel Corrales?
To be honest, I've never seen the guy fight. I never watched him fight. I've never really heard of him, to be honest. No disrespect. Like he said, shout out to him. He's the champion. I appreciate him giving me this opportunity. And come February 26th, I'm coming to capitalize on it. I don't care if he fight like Arboleda, Tug, Floyd Mayweather. I don't care who he fight like. I got one job that night, and that's to win by any means necessary.
Chris, is that the way you typically, some fighters don't watch film or anything, they leave that to their trainer or whatever? Is that the way you go about it ordinarily?
I mean, yeah, I don't really watch film because no guy can't come in and fight me the way they fought their last opponent, because I'm not their last opponent. But I just don't really watch the zone fights. That's not my style. I'm a Showtime guy. I'm a Fox guy. I'm a Showtime guy. I'm a PBC guy. So I don't really get over there to watch their fights. I don't think they're just not my style.
Chris, it's the last thing for you. Obviously, winning the legitimate WBA title would put you in position for some really big unification fights. Can you speak to what it could do for your career by winning this fight?
When I win this fight, I'm that guy. But I've been that guy. I told you I've been that guy. Nobody can look at me and say you're not that guy. I've been that guy. I was born that guy. So I'm just gonna continue to prove that, and whatever comes next comes next. Hopefully we can get the Gary Russell fight when he heal up, and I put him in retirement.
Okay, great. Thank you, Chris.
Thank you.
Thank you, Keith. And Chris, it's a consistent message you've been saying since I first met you. You had maybe 2 or 3 pro fights under your belt, that you're the guy and this is your time. So very exciting for, I think, all of us to be here today. So thank you.
Yes, sir. I appreciate y'all for having me. Look, I remember growing up watching these Showtime fights, and there's a lot of people like Gary Russell. I've been watching him not people before I was even turning pro. So now even to be able to mention names like that for me to be fighting is an honor. And now to fight a guy like Robert Gutierrez, like I said, I appreciate him for giving me this opportunity to the ultimate high that he didn't have to. Well, he had to because I was the mentor, but like he could have tried to step around as much as he can and not fight me, but he stepped up and he took the challenge, and I'm down for it, and I'm going to show up, and I'm going to show up.
Terrific. All right, let's go to James Bell. James is with the Boxing Voice.
This is James Bell from the Boxing Source here. First question for Roger Gutierrez. It's been like over a year since you won that WBA Super Featherweight Championship over Rene Alvarado. Kind of like go back to that moment when you were named the world champion, and how does it feel to be a world champion coming from Venezuela to you?
Ha pasado más de un año desde que te coronaste como campeón de la AMB en el peso superpluma contra Alvarado. Llévanos a ese momento en el pasado en el que te coronaste como campeón mundial. ¿Cuáles fueron tus sensaciones? ¿Cómo te sentiste? ¿Qué te pasó por la cabeza al ser un campeón representando a Venezuela?
Mira, me sentí muy feliz, muy contento, porque todo boxeador quiere ser campeón mundial, quiere llegar a lo más alto. Por eso me sentí demasiado emocionado, demasiado contento, y más por la promesa que yo le tenía a mi madre de ser campeón del mundo antes de fallecer, que falleció un mes antes de la pelea exactamente. Me sentí muy contento, muy emocionado de haberle cumplido a mi madre, y contento con el apoyo de la Asociación Mundial de Boxeo, de mi promotora Golden Boy Promotion por la oportunidad, y como te dije, es una emoción muy grande.
I was moved beyond anything you can think of. It was a whirlwind of emotions because not only had I made it to the top where I always wanted to be, but I was also able to fulfill the promise that I made to my mom, who passed away a month before my fight. I had promised her that I would be a world champion someday. So that moved me a lot, and I want to thank the WBA and also Golden Boy Promotions for having given me the opportunity to reach that pinnacle.
Gotcha. Next question here is for Chris. You see that Brian Custer brought up that Roger Gutierrez has, these knockouts that are accompanied with his wins, but does this kind of like remind you of like the Jaime Arboleda fight where you eventually faced that guy and eventually stopped him, or it doesn't really matter, who's up there in the ring with you, you're just gonna handle your business?
The guy got more knockouts than I got fights. I'm scared. Nah, I'm just messing with you. To be honest, it don't matter to me. Like I like fighting bigger punches because I know they're gonna come to fight. They're not gonna make the fight boring. They're not gonna run. They're gonna make the fight what the word I'm looking for. They're gonna make the fight exciting. And that's the kind of fight that I want. I want to show the fans that I'm versatile. I can do it all. I can stand there and bang. I can box. I can punch. Like they say I can't. But listen, it is what it is. We're going to do what we got to do at the end of the day. So.
All right. Thanks to both guys.
Thank you, bro.
Thank you, James. Let's go to our friend across the pond, RCB Radio Sports Ireland, Jim Conlon.
Hi there. My first question there is for Roger Gutierrez. We saw Chris Colbert say there that he might stand up and bang with you. Do you really expect that, Roger? Do you expect Chris to try and move you around the ring and maybe try and exploit his fitness in the final rounds? Or what sort of game plan or tactics are you expecting from Primetime Chris Colbert?
Bueno, Chris dijo que se va a plantar y va a pelear mano a mano con vos, pero ¿crees que eso se va a hacer realidad? ¿Crees que te va a hacer caminar por el ring? ¿Cuál es la estrategia que esperás que él emplee para intentar desestabilizarte un poco? ¿Y cuál va a ser tu respuesta?
Estamos trabajando varios planes de que si él se quiere fajar conmigo, vamos a pelear. Si él quiere salir a caminar el ring, vamos a irlo a perseguir. Estamos haciendo cualquier plan para estar preparado de la estrategia que él venga hacia mí. Vamos a estar listos para cualquier campo de pelea.
We have various plans ready to go. My team and I are ready for him. If he wants to stand there and go blow by blow, we'll be ready. If he's gonna walk the ring and try to be a little dodgy, we're gonna chase him down. But we're gonna be ready for whatever he employs in there and come out victorious on February 26th.
And my second question then is for Chris Colbert. Chris, we all know your skills, your boxing pedigree, how skillful in-ring technician are you. I suppose when you come up against a fighter like Roger Gutierrez, he has 20 knockouts to his name, so we know he possesses sort of power. Do you feel that maybe the first round or two that you'll be a bit sort of cautious maybe to try and feel him out, for to feel on his strengths, to really see that, test his power really, and then maybe if you feel that you can suffice with that, maybe really drive on? Do you expect really the first one or two rounds to be cagey, or if it means bang bang for the opening round, are you ready to go that way?
I feel offended, one, because you say you see my skills, my boxing skills. You ain't say you see my banging skills. How many people you done see me bang out? How many people I done stand in the middle of the ring and bang them out already? I can name them. Joshua Hernandez, he was 7-0, 6 knockouts. What's his name? Jamie Arboleta. He had, how many knockouts he had out of his wins? Banged them out. So, like, I feel offended by you not saying, you see me do it all. You see me do it all. I'm prepared for whatever he brings. If he want to box, if you want to try to box me, I've never been outboxed. So, that is out. If you want to try to bang, he's not banging with me. I'm too fast, too sharp, and I'm going to show you I'm strong come February 26th. But like I said, it is what it is. I'm ready for whatever.
And finally, Chris, do you feel that this is really a sort of, dare I say, you feel a pedigree, a stepping stone for you really to push really on? Is this really the first we're on the ladder for Chris Colbert in terms of his rise to dominance?
Yeah, this is definitely another stepping stone. This is something that I already knew that was going to happen because in life, you're supposed to have expectations. I already had an expectation. I already knew I was going to be I knew I was going to be a champion. I didn't know what belt I was going to get first, but I knew I was going to be a champion, and God made it happen, and I made it happen. So this is just another day, another dollar for me.
Best of luck to both fighters.
Thank you.
All right, thanks, Jim. Let's go next to Kirk Jackson. Kirk is with Boxing Insider.
Hello, can you hear me?
We got you now, Kirk. Go ahead.
All right, thank you. I appreciate your time, fellas. I have questions for both Roger and Chris, and I'll start with Roger. Roger, you recently emerged victorious, finishing your trilogy with Rene Alvarado. And as Brian Custer alluded to, fighting Chris Colbert's a whole nother animal. What do you feel like your biggest strengths are heading into this matchup with Chris? And what do you think the biggest challenge is, specifically in facing Chris?
Culminaste tu trilogía contra René Alvarado, pero como mencionaba Brian Custer, el pelear contra Colbert es algo absolutamente distinto. Son dos preguntas. Una, ¿cuál consideras que es tu mayor fortaleza? Y ¿cuál crees que va a ser tu mayor desafío en esta pelea?
Mira, sí, como todos lo saben, son dos estilos diferentes, entre René Alvarado y Chris Colbert, un trabajo completamente diferente que vamos a hacer. Mi mayor fortaleza, todos lo saben, es mi pegada. Se puede acabar la pelea en cualquier momento, aunque no por eso vamos a estar apostando al knockout, vamos a ir ganando round a round, tratar de ganar round a round. Nos estamos preparando para los 12 asaltos. Y bueno, él tiene muchas cosas buenas que vamos a estar preparados para ese día y estar listos.
I said it before and I'll say it again, that this fight is gonna be totally different compared to René Alvarado. It doesn't even compare to, as far as in styles, it doesn't compare. My biggest strength is gonna be my power. Having said that, I'm not going to try and look for the knockout right away. We're going to build round by round. We're ready for all 12 rounds. And if the knockout comes, it comes. I'm ready for anything he throws. And, the biggest challenge will be to just be in there facing a great opponent. And I'm going to be ready for February 26th.
Okay, and also, Roger, if you successfully defend your title against Chris Colbert, is the next step pushing for the unification of the WBA titles as far as like facing or trying to make a fight with Gervonta Davis or Gervonta Davis? Or what would you like to do if you are able to beat Colbert? What would be your next step?
Digamos que ganás, defendés tu título. ¿Cuál sería tu plan a futuro? ¿Te gustaría unificar contra Gervonta Davis o tendrías algo más en mente?
Tengo un nombre en la cabeza donde esperemos salir bien. El que tengo es Leo Santa Cruz. Leo Santa Cruz, al primero Dios que todo salga bien.
I have a name in mind, but that name is Leo Santa Cruz. First of all, I'm focused on this fight, hoping, praying to God that everything goes well. I'm focused on this fight, but if I win, the name that I have in mind is Leo Santa Cruz.
Thank you, Roger. And Chris, I recall
when I win, I don't believe he's confident. Because if it was a fifth, we'll all be drunk. Ain't no if over here. When I win, I already told y'all who I want. I want Gary Russell. I want to make this fight between Gary Russell. He said he ain't moving up unless he could get somebody at 130 that got a belt. I will be the WBA super featherweight champion of the world, and let's make it happen.
And
I've been trying to be humble in this press release, but when I win in dominating fashion, don't be surprised if I knock him out, because that's what I'm going for.
And I love the confidence, Chris. I recall catching an IG live with you and Shakur Stevenson And you mentioned facing him at some point down the line, and he mentioned to you he wants you to get a belt first. So do you feel like this is a great opportunity for you to not only capture a world title, but to acquire and leverage for some of the bigger fights down the line?
Of course. Come on, bro. What kind of question is that? Of course. The goal is to win the title. When I win the title, fight bigger names, build up the fights between me and Shakur Stevenson, fight Shakur Stevenson in the near future when the fight is ready to make happen, the money is right, beat him, and go on to retire.
Do you feel like your personality and your business acumen will garner you similar success like Floyd Mayweather or like Sugar Ray Leonard, some of the bigger stars that we've seen in the past 30 to 40 years?
To be honest, I feel like I bring my own style, my own everything to this boxing game. I don't think nobody do it like me, but to build the legacy like they made, yes, I'm looking forward to it. But I ain't trying to be in the game as long as they was. I'm trying to get in and get out. Maybe come be where Brian Custer's at and commentate in a suit.
And my last question for you, as far as your frame goes, I believe you're 5'8" and you have a 72-inch reach.
Yeah.
How far do you feel like you'll be able to go, like weight wise? Like, do you feel like you can go up to welterweight, or have you discussed that at all?
My goal is to maybe retire at welterweight, but right now I'm staying focused on this fight. Like I said, my mind is locked in. I'm locked and loaded. I'm ready to go mano a mano with the champion and dominate him and bang him the hell out.
I appreciate your answers, fellas. Good luck to both of you.
Okay, Kirk, thank you very much. It looks like we got time for maybe two more. Let's try Michael Rueda here. Michael with 26 Sports.
Thank you, I just have one question for each. For Roger, I could ask him in Spanish. Roger, este es un pelea para ti, obvio, defendiendo el título por la segunda vez. Ya que lo defendiste una vez, este es más fácil como preparación y todo, quitando pues de la mente que el primero era la primera defensa del título.
Sí. Vamos. Estamos preparando con todo, sabiendo que el reto es aún mayor. Estamos haciendo un excelente trabajo en este campamento. Para mi segunda defensa, que todo salga bien, primero Dios. Y nada, estamos listos, ya solo ansiosos esperando el día.
Gracias y buena suerte. And for Chris.
Wait.
Sorry,
Michael,
yeah.
let me translate so that you can go on to Chris. The question for Roger was whether the second title defense will be, in a way, seem easier for him compared to his first one, since he's already been through it. And Roger said that he's ready for this challenge, which is gonna be even bigger. He's excited, and what's gonna happen is that he's gonna go out there and show everybody what he's capable of.
Okay. All right, and then for Chris, obviously, you're a student of the game. Is obvious to see. Getting your first title shot in Vegas, is that something special to you? And then do you hope, after you win, you get a bigger shot, in a different city or state?
After I win, I want to take my title back to New York City, headline in the Barclays Center.
Cool. So being in Vegas, though, for your first title fight, is that something big for your career? Just obviously as a start out with your first shot.
Nah, I'm not a big Vegas fan, but at the end of the day, it is what it is. You got to do what you got to do. I got a job to do. I don't care if I fight in his backyard. We go to Venezuela if we want. I still bang him out in his backyard. It don't matter where we fight at. We go in my mother's kitchen, his mother's kitchen. It don't matter. No disrespect to his mom, but I'm just saying, like, I don't mind where we fight at. We can fight anywhere. I'm still gonna do what I gotta do, and that's one job, and that's to win. If I win by any means necessary and dominating fashion.
Thank you, and good luck to both of you guys on 26.
Gracias.
Okay, great. Thank you, Michael. All right, our last one. Let's go to our friend from Brooklyn Fights, Xavier Porter. Xavier,
don't say nothing crazy because I'm not going to answer you.
Yo, first off, it's good to see you, man. Happy New Year, brother. For real.
Thank you. Happy New Year to all of y'all, too. Appreciate y'all.
And, I salute you all day. Congratulations on your success in your career. You've been doing your thing since day one. You know what I mean? Since day one. And I applaud you on that. So with the question I wanted to ask you, like you mentioned, you said you don't care if he was the underdog or not. You would prefer to be the underdog so you can bring that title back to Brooklyn. Can you speak on that for us?
No. I ain't saying so I could bring that. I said I prefer to be the underdog so everybody in my hood could eat.
That's what I meant.
All my young boys and all my homies, they gonna all bet their house, and I need them to get another one. That's why I want to be the underdog. I don't want to be it's guaranteed that I'm bringing this belt back to New York. This belt is coming home with me, not a duplicate, not no rep. That belt is coming home with me. Mi casa. My living room is gonna be the belt, and that's a promise. That ain't no threat. Nothing. That's a promise.
And question for the current champ, I should say. Can you speak on what Chris just mentioned? The fact that he guarantees that the belt is coming back home to Brooklyn, guaranteed to come back to his casa.
Chris acaba de garantizar que el cinturón va a volver a su casa, que es Brooklyn, y está muy confiado. ¿Qué te hace pensar eso? Que él esté tan suelto y tan confiado de poder arrebatar lo que es tuyo.
Está contento, está emocionado, es todo. Igual que yo. Igual que estoy seguro que se va a devolver a Venezuela, no a su casa, como él dice.
He's happy, he's excited, and so am I. But what I can tell you is that the belt is gonna come back home to Venezuela, not to Brooklyn.
Yeah, the duplicate. You can have it. I don't mind. When I win the belt, you can take the belt home. I don't care. I know I'm the champion. I know I'm gonna win. So when I win, you can have the belt.
Dice que lo que te vas a, es lo que decía antes de que te vas a llevar el duplicado, que cuando él gane, vos te puedes llevar el cinturón si querés, así el duplicado y lo puedes poner ahí, pero que él va a ser el campeón.
Lo voy a esperar. Yo voy a hablar en el ring, no acá.
I'm waiting for you, but I'm going to speak to you inside the ring. I'm not going to speak to you here about that.
Very good.
All right. That was terrific. Thanks for all the questions. Back to you, Brian Custer.
Thank you. And listen, folks, this is why you watch. I mean, you got the champion, the kid, Roger Gutierrez, and then you got the unbeaten challenger, Chris Colbert. Primetime, coming to Showtime once again. Las Vegas, world title fight, the fight capital of the world. That's what we bring here on Showtime Championship Boxing. It's the main event of a triple header of fights. I always like to do this when we have these kind of press conferences. We'll start with you, Primetime. This is the final word for as we wrap this thing up. Give us your final word on this fight, February 26th, your first world title shot, and why people need to tune in.
Listen, I want y'all to tune in. Everybody needs to tune in because y'all know when Primetime is on Showtime, it's a show. You don't want to miss it. February 26th, I'm going to treat Robert the Kid Gutierrez like a kid, and I'm going to come to Vegas and bang him the fuck out and bring that home back to Brooklyn. And that's a promise. Quote me on that.
Love it. And listen, by the way, I appreciate you listening and watching The Last Stand, too, where you caught the Gary Russell, where he said he wanted to fight you, but you needed to have a belt. I really appreciate you for supporting The Last Stand.
I always support.
I love that. Champ, let's give you the final word here. Give people the reason why they need to watch on February 26th, because the challenger says you're going to need a Mack truck to stop him, that he's coming to bang you out. Give us your final word on this fight.
No. Quote me. But the champ say he's coming to bang you the fuck out. So make sure you prepare. So tell him what I said in Spanish. Don't sugarcoat it.
I want that promise. So, entonces, Roger, lo que Brian te pregunta, lo que Chris quiere que sepas es que lo que vas a necesitar es un camión para derrotarlo. Lo que él dice es que él viene a destrozarte dentro del ring. Pero, ¿qué le puedes garantizar vos a la gente? ¿Qué es lo que la última palabra es para el campeón? ¿Qué es lo que puedes garantizar? ¿Qué es lo que le querés decir a la gente entre todas estas provocaciones que te están tirando a diestra y siniestra?
Que me siento muy tranquilo, como te lo dije. Estoy muy tranquilo, emocionado de que llegue el día para demostrar lo que soy. Todo. Él se vio apurado con 126 libras. Vamos a ver qué va a hacer conmigo.
I really am so confident and so happy to be in this fight. And Chris had trouble at 126 pounds. Let's see what he does with me, but I am beyond ready for anything that he can throw at me.
Folks, you don't want to miss it. You got Colbert, Gutierrez, Saturday, February 26th from the Chelsea, inside the Cosmopolitan in Las Vegas. Primetime on Showtime, taking on the kid, Roger Gutierrez, making the second title defense of his WBA super featherweight title. The main event of a triple header of fights on Showtime Championship Boxing. Tickets, again, available at Ticketmaster.com. Get your tickets now. And, of course, the fight is brought to you by Premier Boxing Champions. Thank you so much for watching. We will see you on February 26th in Las Vegas and on Showtime Championship Boxing. I'm Brian Custer. Have a great day.